family, and welcome to another episode of Family Meeple. I'm Raymond, and today we are going to be unboxing Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. This has just arrived on my doorstep, literally within minutes, within an hour or so. So very excited to dig into this. I really enjoy following along with the GameFound campaign. I like GameFound's way of working with their audience, the participants, the backers. I think it's great that you get a chance to genuinely participate. So they do have those interactions, asking for ideas, asking for feedback, things like that, which is brilliant. For myself, I've not actually played a physical copy of Castles of Burgundy. I saw it come up, I saw it being raved about, I did lots of research, I discovered, okay, what's this all about, what is Castles of Burgundy. So very brief background. Castles of Burgundy has been running now for quite it has been available now in the marketplace and highly esteemed among the gaming community for over a decade. Since its very first publication, there's been a number of expansions over time. Then they brought out a kind of deluxe edition, and then more recently than that, we have the collaboration here with Awaken Realms to produce this special edition. So this is really focusing on upping, I guess, sort of the ante, the production, the quality. And I'm guessing really this probably came hot on the heels of the back of seeing the likes of Suburbia. So these guys did a great job. I think it was these guys. Sure, it was these guys that did Suburbia. I'm fairly sure that was a GameFound campaign. I mean, either way, I think it's definitely shown that there is value for games that have been around for quite a long time, that have had a number of expansions. There is definitely a desire for a new single updated publication with updated graphics, bringing in all the content that's been produced to date into a single edition, a single purchase, which is great for someone like me as a newcomer, because it gives me an opportunity then to dig into and enjoy all the stuff I would not have had the opportunity to get, or would have had to go out and scavenge to find a copy of that expansion over there and over here and all that stuff. So it's fantastic just to be able to get everything in a single box. So as always with Awaken Realms and GameFound, this is very well packaged. So let's bring you down to the table and we'll have a look and see what we've got in here. What's that doing? That's casting a shadow over there. Okay. Okay, I'll get rid of the box as soon as I can. So let's first of all dig in. Excellent. So we have special edition acrylic hexes. So I'll dig into what that is. But we start off with a letter. And what does this letter say? So it begins with, okay, if you can see that to a degree, or in fact, I don't know how much of that will get on there. No, that's fine. So, dear backer, if you read this letter, you've just become one of the lucky owners of the special edition of Castles of Burgundy. This unique release results in collaboration between Awaken Realms and Ravensburger. From the very beginning, this was an exceptional project for us here at Awaken Realms. Having the possibility to work with one of the legendary board games is such a fantastic honour for us. Moreover, having the opportunity to collaborate with Stefan Feld himself was a great experience and lesson for the future. But first of all, being able to deliver the special editions to such a great broad gaming community is an indescribable pleasure. We're excited to present you with the ideas that we've been working on over the last months. In this special edition, you will find a complete redesign of art and layout so that every piece has fantastic art and enhancing game usability. Only the best materials have been used to provide endurance and a premium feel. Many extra components will bring the gaming experience to the next level, providing this unique game with a genuinely royal character. In addition, a brand new expansion is waiting for you, the Vineyards of Burgundy, designed by Stefan Feld himself, and you also find some completely new duchies that have never been issued before. Together with Ravensburger, we are proud that we are able to craft a refined experience and elevated Castles Burgundy to a new level. We hope that you will share our experience once you finish reading this letter and sit down to play. Diving back into the more colourful world of Burgundy should allow you to build your Burgundian estate to even bigger prosperity and prominence. Last but not least, we'd love to hear your feedback. Castles Burgundy is a game that has established brand and fame, so the real challenge is facing the legend and adding a little more sparkle to it. Please share your thoughts about this special edition on our social media channels and rate the game on Board Game Geek. In the end, your opinion is what motivates us to help continue to grow and create board games. We're grateful for you being part of this journey. We hope to see you again. And then on the back, of course, you have the Awaken Realms logo, and then important notes around if you do come across any damage, anything like that. So, I mean, you can see it is well packaged. So hopefully, we will not encounter anything like that. We'll soon find out. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just going to unbox some of these components first. So I've got this annoying shadow over here on the green steam mat. So I'm going to unbox the components out of the main box first. The box is out of the box. And then we can dig into having a look at the... Oh, that weighs some. Okay, I mean, I knew these were resin tokens, but I mean, that has some good heft to it. So let's just give you a quick gander at the box. Okay, and then like I said, we'll take a more in-depth look at the box and the components within in just a moment. So just checking out the packaging itself. Very nicely packaged. Okay, and then we have the main box itself, which is the special edition, and we have the mat, which is the board. So the board has been updated again with revised graphics. So look forward to digging into that. And there we go. Excellent. So that is the main box. Excellent. Fantastic. So let's start by looking at the front, just admiring this beautiful artwork. Love the artwork. Castles of Burgundy by Stefan Feld. Aaliyah. I'm not sure what that is in reference to, so I'll look that up later. Apologies. So here we go. So we've got the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. In fact, what I'll do, I'm just going to bring this camera down a bit here. There we go. Excellent. So, Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. Got the side artwork here, so that's wrapping around from the front, as you can see. Got the top artwork again as a wrapper from that front, and of course the other side again is a continuation of that design there. Okay, now for me personally, one of the things that I like to do when I get my games is I like to leave this additional layer of cellophane on. Now, first of all, good thing is that hasn't got damaged in transit, it's not broken. There's a little breathing, couple of little holes here, but in the main, in good condition. One of the things that I don't personally like, it's a personal bugbear for me, these this is part of the sealing process. It doesn't happen for all games, so it's something I don't know whether it's the material they're using or how they've designed the wrap, the compress, what have you. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of these big heated crispy bits. I don't know what else to call them, guys. Apologies, family. We can see we've got some lid lift here, so I'm guessing that's to do with all the boards that we are about to unveil. And wow, look at that, beautiful graphics again, just stunning. So we just get that sheen off of there. There we go. So let's have a look. So if that's focusing there. Is there an autofocus? I try. No, that's fine. So it is the 15th century, and what I'm going to do, because it's the 15th century, is remove this the bottom of this cellophane. Okay, and we'll dig into the main box, and of course we've got the Ravensburger logo in the bottom corner there. Now, I don't know about, again, for you guys personally, but my first exposure to Ravensburger as an organisation was actually through puzzles. My wife is a big puzzle fan. She loves doing puzzles, and I think it's fair to comment that you cannot get better quality than Ravensburger puzzles. So, some great pieces of work by them there. Oh, it's got a... If you can hear that. There is a linen finish on the underside of the box as well. Okay, so we have components included in here: 1 double-sided main board, 4 cloth bags, wooden trade good tiles, 24 metal silver coins, 4 double-layer player boards, 4 player board overlays, 60 duchy boards, 9 high-quality dice, 17 county cards, 85 markers and tiles, 180 hex tiles, and other things besides. Wow, that is a lot of content in this box, folks, without a shadow of a doubt. What is this going on here? Apologies. Just going to try and get rid of that shadow. Okay, so it says, it is the 15th century in Burgundy, central France. As an influential duke, it is your goal to lead your estate to prosperity through a strategic expansion and trade. Roll your dice to reveal your options and find a strategy that will lead you to victory. Whether trading or farming, building or research, many different paths lead to prosperity and prestige. There are many ways to gain victory points in this building game. Choose your strategy wisely. Here we go. Okay, so that is what we will find. Obviously, we have the picture giving you an idea of the layout of the contents of this box, and it is, bring that down. So we have here 1 to 4 players. We have the Alea logo. So 1 to 4 players, 14 plus is the recommended age range, 90 to 120 minutes, and I'd say that's fair. That certainly marries up with my experience playing it digitally. So as I mentioned, I haven't played it physically, but I have played it digitally. So when this Kickstarter came out, the first thing I saw was I noted there was the ability to get a hold of this on Steam. So I got a hold of a digital copy and started having a play just to make sure it was something of interest to myself. You know, it's, I mean, all these games, the reality is, folks, that they're all becoming more and more expensive, and particularly when you get something as beautiful and deluxeified as this, you know, it's got to cost a few pennies, and you want to make sure that you're wisely investing your funds. Okay, so we'll dig into the main box first of all. So, as is often with Awaken Realms, a nice, sturdy, black lined box with the image wraparound. So that's very good. Okay, so we have, there we go. So this is the responsibility of the lift then, but I like the fact that they've included again, they're just that additional layer. So just make sure we've got that good compression in terms of during transit. It's not going to be damaging the components underneath, and you're not going to get folded and crumpled instruction booklets, etc. So I have found that in the past with some of my Kickstarter purchases, just things move around in the box during transit. It happens. And again, nice here. We've not actually got a lot of shine on there, so again, nice high quality linen finish on the booklet. So this is really good on the rulebook. So really good quality there. And here we go. So we get lots of different templates for the different lands, layouts, and again, this is very much part of the expansions that came. So it talks about here, you've got the first expansion, the Championship German board from 2013, the Championship German board from 2016, the 3rd and 7th expansions, the border posts being the 4th expansion, as well as a special edition as well. So a whole bunch of contents in here, and then we go into the main rules. So how to set up your board, how to place the main board in the center of the table you will be working from to pull your resources. So as it mentioned, you would roll dice, and we'll come on to how that works in a moment. So, yeah, so we've got the playing of the game, the 5 game rounds, your actions, and I like what they've done here. We've got the sort of the main text as then with sort of bullets on a margin. We've got a quick rundown of the different iconographies that you have on the tiles, and I'll come on speaking about the tiles as well, and how some of those components have been changed from the original versions of the game. Okay, so you play 25 rounds overall. So you roll the dice, you take your actions, it's the next player's turn. It's fairly fast paced, there's not a lot really to do, kind of. It's all about choice. As it mentioned there, you've got to choose wisely, work out what strategy you've got. And sometimes the reality is you'll come up with a strategy, an idea, and then the dice just won't be running in your favour, and you have to work with what you get. There is a Shatoma, which is what I'm guessing is what they call their, instead of an automa, it is a Shatoma. And it's good to see the name. David Tersey was involved in the creation of the solo game. He's very renowned for creating very good solo mechanics. So you've got like an automated opponent that you're playing against. That's one of the big things with this is that give and take, that ebb and flow that you get from the game as you're all operating from that central board, and that's really where that kind of competitive element comes in. So you're not just necessarily purchasing for what's good for you, you're also maybe making decisions on what to purchase based on what might be something that your opponent wants that you can steal, that would still suit you, you'd still buy it, but actually you might buy that earlier in the process rather than later in the process, because actually that benefits you more, because you're creating that additional block, hindrance, etc., obstacle, challenge for your opponent. And then you've got some Shatoma scorings as well. Excellent. So look forward to diving into that. So we've got a Shatoma help sheet. There we go, and it gives you the page reference numbers as well, so you see that's a bit more glossy, but that's nice. It's nice, good quality. Oh, it's a bit warm in here. It's nice, good quality. So you've got your end game scoring rundown as well as your different bits and bobs of how that operates, and then you've got your general player help sheets as well. So it's nice to see that they're all conformed. So you've got images of your different tiles as a point of reference. So at any point you pull a tile out the bag, and they all go on the board, and then you're selecting one of those tiles. Before you select a tile, you can have a look down here and you can say, okay, so if I take a church, what does that mean? I get to take a mine, a monastery, or a castle tile when I play that church. And and again how that operates we'll cover in brief. And then we've got all of the different yellow tiles as well, so they're exactly the same for each of the players. 4 of. There we go. Okay, we have our extra security, and that is holding in place the game board. Now let's see if I can. Let me open it up on here. Is it sizable enough? Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so one of the things to mention with the game boards, it's just about on camera, is so I believe they've changed up the score track, which now travels around the board, as is common with a lot of games nowadays. So that's good. There's a nice change. So you will start over here at number 1, work your way through to 100. And then what happens is you would have, you'd be pulling tiles according to the number of players out of a bag, and you'd be putting tiles around the 1 slot, the 2 slot, the 3 slot, the 4, 5, 6, and then when you roll your dice, that determines which areas are open for business for you, as it were. So when you choose what tiles you want, if you've rolled a 2 and a 5, well, you can only pick from here and you can only pick from here. So that's in essence how that works. So very simple. Now I believe somewhere on here there will be a notification as to one side will be for X number of players and the other side will be for a different number of players. So there we go. So here it is in this corner here. So we've got 2-player game. So you see that the board itself changes subtly but quite significantly here. So you've only got the 2 slots available per dice that you're on, because you've just got that head-to-head. And I'm guessing this is potentially the board that will be utilised when you're playing the Automa. So again, it gives you a much more constrained choice of tiles and an environment which you're playing in. So much more challenging, making sure you get that sense of genuine challenge in a 2-player game as you would in a 3 or 4-player game. But yeah, really like there is that very much that kind of chateau French scenery feel to this. So really liking what they've done with the graphics here. I love this little sort of bridge going over the water, leading into these areas, and yeah, the runway. Love it. Or walkway, sorry. Yeah, just beautiful. And then in addition to the tiles that you would pull that you'd want to place to build up your own personal duchy, you also then get goods that are available as well. So that's what's represented here by these crates. Not quite sure I recognise off the top of my head what those are representative of. We'll see. And then I believe this is where you'd stack goods that then become available as the game rounds go on. So there we go. So that's a brief look at the board and the difference between the 2-player and the 4-player boards. Here we go. So these are, yeah, we get a good amount of punch card to come with this, and let's just have a quick check. Oh yeah, I mean that's just like a knife through butter. I was going to say butter through a knife, but that would be a very bizarre scenario. Like a knife through butter, that just came out very, very simply. I'm just going to push that back in there. There we go. So we've got the original tiles, and this family was a big thing. So with the original, okay, so for that, with the original game. And in fact, with the deluxe edition, I think it was, that he brought out, although you had the tiles and the graphics, they were great, and you could look them up. You know, you could look them up in the rulebook. So this player aid again didn't exist, as far as I understand, with the other iterations. But you could go in the rulebook and you could look up. All right, so I've just picked out going by the graphics. I've just been at a carpenter's workshop. What does that do? Oh, it enables me to take another building tile when I build that building. Okay, great. I know what that does. What they did here instead was they actually printed on the back of all of these tiles exactly what they do. So as you're putting them out the bag and you're populating the areas you're going to be pulling from on the board, you can see exactly as you're putting them out, you can be reading out, this is what this tile does, this is what this tile does. And obviously over time, as you play the game more and more, you'll be familiar. It doesn't take a lot. Like I say, I've played it quite a number of times now using Steam. And at that instance, all you get is the graphics, and I think there's an option to kind of go into a menu, and then it will tell you in that menu what it is that that particular tile will do if you pick it up. So again, yeah, just a fantastic improvement to the usability, the playability of the game. Just not having to keep going, oh, what does that tile do? Right, let's get the rulebook back out, find that page. Even having a player aid, having the ability to reduce the amount of times you're having to reference that, I think is definitely a win. So that's good. Really happy to see that. Now I suspect this is going to come up upside down if I put it on here, which it is. Not quite sure what I've done with that camera, so apologies. Just try and straighten that up there. That's not helping at all, is it? There we go. No. Does it help at all? Somewhat, maybe. If I lift it up a bit. Deary me. Apologies, folks. Wonders of technology. It also seems to have a bit of a delay on there. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Okay, so anyway, you get a bit of a closer view of the tiles at least. And what they are looking like that you'll be placing onto your board. And then here you go, this is the what is going on? Of course it's all upside down. There we go, so you get a view and appreciation of and I don't know why, it just seems really skewed. I'm gonna have to go in and have a play with this, definitely, apologies. I thought I'd set this up better. Clearly I hadn't. Okay, so you can see here, when you pick up this particular building here, you get to gain 2 silver coins, and you can then spend those coins as extra sort of purchases, moves, etc. There we go. So enough fighting with that tech. So you've got a whole bunch of yellow buildings. You've got the ships, and then you get a whole bunch of a whole range of farm animals. So nice and clear as to what those animals are. So that's nice. So you can see there we've got the pigs, and the sheep, and the geese, the ducks, the cows. We've got deer. And there's ways to gain points out of farming and clustering certain animals together. So these are the reds are the castles themselves, and the grey ones are the mines. And then we start getting into the latest expansion, designed by the original designer Stefan Feld, as we saw on that in that introductory letter, which they've worked with. So you'll get additional. There we go. So it's all very much around those vineyards, aside to your duchy that you are populating. I'm not sure. I'm guessing these are from one of the expansions, because I haven't come across these at all. So I'm not sure what they're pertaining to. And I guess the 100 marker is simply representative of once you pass 100 points on the score track, you take one of those and you carry on scoring. You've got your unique sort of duke and duchess. That's not a thing, I'm sure. Duchess, that sounds about right. Duke and Duchess player icons, and of course you get your workers, so that gives you the ability you can effectively spend a worker to add or subtract 1 from your dice roll, giving that greater level of agency, and reducing the amount of luck in the game. Let's pop that one back in there. And again, I've not come across those before, so I'm guessing they are additionally to do with another expansion. So I'll set those punch boards aside. This is beautiful. Okay, so we have a player board, which you'll notice is indented. So this was a hot topic of discussion within the community as they were developing the game. So the idea is what we've actually got in here will be, and in fact, let's just see if we can find it and dig it out, and then I can demonstrate it rather than just talk at you about it. So we've got the yellow player board. So previously it was the red player board. We've got the blue player board, and of course, finally, the purple player board. I do like purple. Okay, so oh, that's not quite sure why we have these. They're almost like bigger duchies. So maybe it's to do with a specific expansion, perhaps. Maybe it's an alternative to use if you don't want to use the board. You can use those instead. Not entirely sure. I'm sure all will be revealed in the destructions. So, moving on, we then have our contents. Oh, nice. Okay, so we have an embossed tray lid. So you can see that Castles of Burgundy. So that's very nice. I do like embossed lids. Very good touch. Very nice touch. Plenty of well-designed storage. These are okay. I mean, they're good enough quality. They should last a while. They can tend to split. I find that one's clearly taken a bit of a ding on the corners here. On the edges. But I mean, they should last a while. So the idea is we could put a whole bunch of tiles in here, various sort of tokens and what not. We've got some standees, which I would guess would be for our dukes and duchesses. We have our dice, and they're all different colour dice bar the white. So you get a set of dice for each player. I do like that, and I like the fact that although they've done a bit of graphic design work on them to beautify them, I guess, they're very shiny. Very shiny. But yeah, so I like the fact that they are still very legible. So even though they've done some work, and kind of do some of the graphics around the numbers. I don't know why it's not focusing. Apologies, guys. But yeah, I like those. Very nice. It's important that you can read these things. I've seen so many dice and companies that try to get clever with dice, and as a result, all they end up with is illegible dice. It's like, why would you want dice that you can't easily read when you're trying to play a game? I don't understand it. Just don't understand it, folks. So really, really happy that that is not the case here. Easily legible. And poor light, someone may struggle potentially to read the yellow. That would be my only. And again, that's a very common one. When you have got yellow, putting the white on the yellow can be a little difficult for people that are hard of sight. But do you know what? You can play a different colour. It's fine. We have resins and money, silver coins. Beautiful. We'll come on to those. We'll get some your silica. Chew that later. No, I won't. We have some baggage. I'm not entirely sure why one comes in a plastic bag, but the others don't. Not sure. Okay, so don't particularly smell, so that's a good thing in my book. A bit more smelling on the inside. So on the inside you have this. It's quite nice, sort of almost felt finish, and then the outside is much more kind of suede, I would say. Obviously got the print on the bag, but they're really good size for getting your hand into. I mean, I've got a good size hand, I'd like to think, and yeah, so it's nice. I'm not struggling to get my hand in and out of there, so that's good. So that's nice. That's well considered. So we get a green bag. Okay. So it's all nicely stitched on the inside. So we've got a green bag, a yellow bag, a beige. I'm guessing that's beige. Yeah, beige bag. All the same logo on, and a black bag. Now, whether they made this in a separate bag because it was maybe going to imprint, or because it's got the white print, not entirely sure why it's in a separate bag. Would it maybe discolour the other bags? Was it just because of the manufacturing process? Don't know. Interesting one. But no, but again, look great. Nice, decent size bag. Okay. So, another insert tray, so plenty of room for stuffs and more stuffs. And these are the player tokens that come around the score track. And one of the things again that was it was a bit of a hot topic of discussion on the forums, and when people talk about boats, I think Alex from Board Game Co, he made reference to this, and apparently it's been quite a long-standing thing with a number of people. Talking about using boats around the score track, and he was like, "Why would you? I mean, boats are part of the game. You know, there's the water, and why would you want? Doesn't really fit thematically. You're building a duchy. Anyway, so yeah, it is what it is. Personally, I agree, and I'm not massively fussed. However, maybe that's sacrilegious. Apologies, guys. But as it is. But one of the key things I did like about this was, and I do again find this as a bit of an annoyance and a bugbear with some of the games that I play, is when you are moving around the score track and you have scenarios where you are both stacked on the same area, if you get player pieces that don't really sit on top of one another, that can be a bit irksome. So that I like the attention to the detail here. I mean, again, these are beautiful, and again, I can only apologise again for the lack of autofocus. Not quite sure what's happening. But these are just stunning. And in fact, I tell you what, I'm just going to pause the video and just have a look, see if I can sort out this autofocus, because it really is bugging me now. So I'll be back in one moment. Okay, so hopefully, apologies, things probably moved around a bit now in the screen, but hopefully this is now working a lot better for us. So I've decided to sit down for the rest of it. So let's have a look. If I bring this up here, there we go. You get a nice autofocus now. There you go. I think I turned it off just when I'm gaming. I'm recording those videos, but yeah, so you can see how nicely that's been designed, and you get one for each of your colours, and they stack very nicely on one on top of the other, which is great. Done a great work there. And of course they've got their Game Found or Awaken Realms customary sun drop effect. There we go. And I sorted out the green screen. I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to pause the video and sort out the flipping autofocus. I may as well sort out green screen while I'm there as well. So there we go. So just get an idea of what they. Oh, shut up! Don't bang the table. There we go. Just get an idea of those components. They work fab. They work great. Beautiful. Really impressed with those. There we go. Let's pop those off. And what have we got next? We've got a layer of card. Okay, what is useful for securing stuff. And we've got another engraved top. So let's pull this off. Can you say that on TV? So more Castles of Burgundy. I do wonder if it's the same. No, so it is different to the other one. So this one has indents on the side, so they are designed to not be mixed up one to the other. They're not compatible to one another. So I'll just pop that aside as well. And here we go. Here are the inserts, the inlays that you would then place onto here, the tiles that you're pulling and gathering. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. So of course we have 4 of those, one for each of the players. And I don't, is it just me? It just kind of reminds me of, I'm going to say this now and I'm probably going to regret it afterwards, so apologies. It just reminds me of beer can. The tin is, sorry guys, I grew up, okay, I'm from Slough, alright, it's where I grew up, it is what it is, okay, home to the office, yeah, it's who I am, okay, so, but no, I love this. There's very little annoys me more than you're putting pieces out on a board, suddenly the board gets knocked, something like that, things juggle around the place, it's just so annoying. So yeah, the fact that they've thought about that, they've considered that, they've came up with a solution to that, my heart goes out to you. Fantastic, love it, brilliant. There's so many of these. Let's dig in. And I know you want to see the next stuff, but I'm gonna hang fire. Okay, wow, look at that. I can't even fit it under here. Look, it's just so many. There's so many. So these are quite thin, and that's great. I mean, they don't need to be thick, so that works really well. Let's slide one of these off, and I just love the detail on here, because it's not just a, oh, here's a patch of colour, here's a number. That's what you need to know to play the game. Go forth and prosper. You know, I love the fact that actually no, they've taken the, and obviously the green's not going to come out on the green screen, but they've taken the time. Even the yellow seems a bit iffy, but you can see here. So on the grey, then you know you can see they've taken the time to apply some effects to what you're looking at. You know, they've got kind of the water effect on the blue. It's little things, the little stones gathering up against the dice here. The fact this is going to be a mine area for the castle tile. Beautiful, absolutely love that. So you know, here you go. And you can see the green, the fields, the pastures, where you're going to send your animals, and they're going to graze and frolic. So, and these are double-sided as well. So, you know, not only do you get an absolute hefty stack of these things, but they're double-sided as well. Now, what I'm interested to know, here we go, yep, so they are numbered as well. So there you go. So, so you can presumably look up in the book, and it will tell you this number is for this particular campaign or expansion or whatever. So, no, I love that. So, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to bring back the player board. So I mentioned this earlier. So as you're playing the game, and this is your personal duchy that you are building. Let's go back to the very first, the original. So this is the only version available online, at least that I've found. So this is what I've played many times. So I'm very used to, very au fait with this particular layout. There we go, and that slots in there. So you can see, I mean, that is beautifully aligned. I like that. Yeah, no, I think that's good. That's a good alignment, that, guys. Well done. It's maybe a little bit off, but that's fine. I'm happy enough with that. That is good. But yeah, it in no way detracts from the functionality of the game, but it adds to the functionality of the game. Like I say, if you're on a little table somewhere or whatever, and suddenly we need to clear decks so we can have some food, and then we'll put everything back in. Okay, great, yeah, not a problem. I'm just going to put it on the side. Job's a good one. Fantastic. I love that. And then you've got the other areas of the board for your various bits and bobs, and I'm using this upside down. I've just realised, so apologies for that, guys. I flipped that around there we go, and now the duchies are all around as well. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I really appreciate that. That's beautiful. Just nice linen finish on the back. Excellent. I'm just going to pop that to the side. Okay, so then we have, wow, the piece de la resistance. This was like really going out now on the deluxeification of this special edition. Here we go. So this is the player pieces. So as you choose each, and they've done. So again, this is the sun drop from Awaken Realms, and they are just beautiful. They're just beautiful. Absolutely love those. Just really, really pop. You know, you can see distinctly what those colours are. So whatever playing piece you choose, they map accordingly to your player pieces that will be on the score track going around. And yeah, they're just stunning. Absolutely stunning. So let's just see if we get a there you go. Fantastic. Just a better quality bit. Now I've turned on the auto zoom. That helps. And now I've got no idea where they came from now, so I'm going to have to rewatch my video to work out where did these go. That one was over there. I think the yellow was in there. Was it? No. I don't know. That looks about right. Okay, so then each of the players as well have their own unique castles, which again was just going that bit above and beyond. You know, I think the progress was genuinely they kind of looked at it and thought, oh great, it's really nice. Let's have I think this was the original, because this is most aligned to the game graphics. Yeah, and as you've seen on the player board, you get these 4 areas on your duchy to build castles. I'm just trying to see if there's a front door. Try and get that a appropriate way round for you. Here we go. Hopefully that will kick in with autofocus. There we go. Look at that. It's just so beautiful, guys. Look at that. Oh, I love that. It's just stunning, and just that extra layer of the sun drop just so helps to bring out that detail. And you can see it there on the green screen. So you've got that little drawbridge there at the front that would come down and let all your people in. Why not? Lovely. Except the peasants. No. So you've got the yellow players' castles, but then you've also got different castles for your other colours as well. So if I just put those here and here, you get a bit of a side on and a top view. So these are all coloured the same. So it's a very kind of maroony, dark umber, I guess, to a degree. Again, yeah, let's just see if we can get that on camera for you. Focus. Focus. There we go. Look at that. Just beautiful. Just love the detail of the mini. And it really is just enhanced by that sun drop effect. Just such a fantastic job. Really does make a difference, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And again, there were concerns about, you know, well, if you've got these 3D figures on the board, is it going to cause issues being able to see what's happening on your opponent's board? Are you going to be able to work out what they're doing? So saying earlier about part of the key aspect of this game is you're all interacting with that central board. You're all working from the same resource pool, and therefore you're competing for those resources. So if you want a particular building to fit into a particular area of your terrain, and this is the clincher, folks, is you may not have the a well deployed scattering of the different terrains that are required for you to populate. You know, so actually there may not be 3 mines for you to be able to build. There may not be the number of boats for you to be able to build and complete your duchy. And those spaces that are not populated, they are points. So you absolutely want to be filling those areas. And that's where that competitiveness really comes into its own. And so there was an aspect of concern of, well, if I've got, you know, if I've filled my castle areas with my castles, you know, is that going to make it more difficult then to see? Well, actually, if I now, you know, if I'm a player on the other side of the table and I'm looking from that way, or is that now difficult for me to see what have you got, you know, on the other thing? But I mean, I'm looking at it from underneath the board, folks. The reality is, if I was sat here, you know, across the table, well, if I put it down here and I'm looking across the table, I can see very well what you've got, what you're aiming to achieve still. The wonders of green screen and the greens bombing out. But yeah, you know, it just works so well. I think they were conscious and attentive to that level of detail and the requirement, you know, and the concern of you know, the backers. It was clearly expressed and conversed during the campaign. So hopefully we'll get there we go. Excellent. Let's get an idea of what that one looks like. What have I got? I've got bags spinning onto the green screen. That's what's happening there. It's not spider legs. I am quite safe. I have been marked safe from spiders. I don't live in Australia. It's okay. And then the final, the purple set of castles. Look at those. Oh, these are stunning, folks. I love them. They've just done such a great job, and just give you that genuine sense and feel of, you know, you've got something special here. Look at that. Move that to the side. There we go. Oops. Beautiful. And that wash just absolutely helps them to pop. Okay, so that's what you get for that layer. And then underneath we have, what do we have underneath? Okay, so we have another bag, which is a green bottle bag. So I'm thinking, because of the colourings on these bags now, these are definitely aspects of the different tiles that you're going to be pulling. So you've got the yellow tiles, you've got the black, which I'm guessing would be the grey, the mines, the green would be the animals in the pastures, you've got the beige tiles. Is that supposed to be sea? It's a bit limey rather than blue. Not quite sure what happened there. Okay, maybe it's not that. That was my initial thinking. Okay. So we have those. We have another silver pack. I'll just leave those in there. Pop that at the bottom. Just help keep everything nice. We have a almost tarot-sized deck of cards plastered out. Let's see. Again, there's a bit of a linen finish on there, but they are mostly glossy. And I've got no idea what these are for. I'm guessing maybe the vineyards. Perhaps. Excuse me. Not quite sure what happened there. But okay, yeah, various cards, so I'm not quite sure. I don't think the green screen's going to cope with them. No. All a little too green. But yeah, I mean, in essence, folks, this is what they are. And there's plenty of them. So whether these are maybe for the automa, maybe. Automa deck, perhaps. Wow. Excuse me. Why should wow? What's going on here? Okay, so these are the brand new expansion that has come with this special edition. So this is not available as an expansion outside of this box, as far as I'm aware. They might publish it as a separate retail expansion. But again, yeah, I mean, this is triple layer boards, guys, and again, it's not going to cope all that well on the green screen. You can see it nicely on here. But yeah, if I tilt that, you get to see the multiple layers that come with that. So you get, I'm guessing, 4 of these. Just wrap them back up. Bloop. And underneath there, one of these. And again, they've done the wonderful sun drop finish. Just look at that detail, folks. You know, this, you don't have to paint this. This is as it comes out of the box. Absolutely stunning. Oh, turn over. So yeah, so that's the flip side for you. So you would have that shown as part of the board, and that's where you'll be pulling your 1 to 6 little vines from that you're going to be using to populate. So you've got a space here, presumably to store your vines. You've got the vineyard expansion boards that would then seal that up nicely for you. So they're all self-contained should you want to venture into that expansion. I'll put that back in there for the time being. We'll put these back on top. We have a whole stack. It just, look at these, folks, and all double-sided. Wow, is that 50? Sort of there, 30, 20. There's another 30. So yeah, 30 different Dutches. You know, and you wouldn't necessarily think it would make a massive difference, but it really does. So, apologies, that was my my youngest daughter coming along to say we've got a spider alert in the bedroom. So I'll deal with that momentarily. I don't think you'll run off in a hurry. Okay, so we've got all those wonderful duchies. We have our marvellous holders for those to keep everything in place, which is great. Didn't get to these, so let's get to these. Just to pop that aside. And then there's bags and stuff. I'll work out where they're going. And then we have one more box to dig into. Oh, I do love metal coin. I'm a sucker for it. Sorry, family, but I do love it. Okay, so here we go. Get those lovely metal coins. They're great, and they're both the same on each side. The filigree, I believe it is. No, they're great. Love them. Beautiful stuff. Not much more to say about that. And I do like the fact that they are that bit rough around the edges. They aren't, you know, sort of pristine, and they've got that level of antiquity to them, which is great. I appreciate that. So I think I said there was 20 or so of those, which is great. So that's an ample number of coins for all the players. And then we have, trying to stab ourselves with a scalpel. Resin, I believe these are. They feel kind of resin-y. So I believe when these first appear, these are effectively a little bit high. There we go. So these are all effectively just face down. And then as you come to the stage where you reveal them, we reveal these are the options available to acquire from the stock market. Goods that you can secure. And then there will be opportunities to effectively turn these goods into points at the end of the game, along with populating your duchy and everything else that you're working on. I do like those. I mean, they've got a bit of clank to remind me of dominoes, actually. Sound wise, remind me. I like those. Nice good finishes on them. They're wood. They are wood. They are not resin. In fact, they are printed wood. I think you can just about see. There's a bit of a grain. My gosh. Been dire trying to find the focus on this camera. It's coming up there. Yeah, there we go. This one. So yeah, these are wood. Okay, I like it. So yeah, I mean, there's a little occasional little bit of a chip corner, and I think that would be the concern with these over time, is you will get probably that extra wear and tear with it being a print over the wood. These are painted on the edges, so I think that'll be less wear, but it will wear over time, depending on obviously how much use you get out of the game. But yeah, the printed image over the top of that, I think what they've done is they've lacquered that slightly. I mean, it shines a beaut, but yeah, so I think they've tried to obviously apply a layer of protection there, but even, you know, this is brand straight out the box, and even at that level, it's already got it. But that's fine. It is what it is. But no, I like the fact that in the original game, sort of playing online, you kind of got the sense, oh great, I've got a crate, a coloured crate, and they were coloured purely from an aesthetic perspective of trying to make it easier to associate. Okay, I've got a bunch of blues, I've got a bunch of greens, I've got a bunch of pinks, whatever. So I like the fact that I actually depict something of, well, what is it? You know, so that's something from a bakery. That's some clothes for number 5. You know, that's some wine for number 2. Number 1 is items of jewellery. You know, so I do appreciate that they've taken, again, that bit more time just to consider, well, what are these goods that people are purchasing? You know, so we've got some pottery items there with stuff in. You know, it's just that, to me, that additional level of just that immersiveness. I think that's the thing for me is the theme. You know, it can be quite a dry, abstract game otherwise. You know, the notion of, yeah, fine, you know, you're building a castle and you're building a school and you're building this, that and the other, and you're effectively developing your duchy. But I mean, for most people, would they know what a duchy is? I certainly wouldn't. But the mechanics are great, and I think that's what absolutely keeps people coming, and give it that level of depth and attention. Okay, so before I go into the next box, we have, so you've seen the game board. So with this special edition, I did opt to also purchase a mat, game mat. So again, very much the same as the board, but in matte, and it is all stitched around the edge, so you'll get a good level of longevity out of this. And again, so you can see this is the 2-player side of the board, so still very much the same. If I flip that around, there we go, still very much the same graphics as you saw before. So the water, the runway, the walkway, yeah, the 2 places per piece. So this beige, I mean, that's quite faint, would be my only single criticism. Everything else is perfectly legible, visible, no issues at all whatsoever. Beautiful. Even the yellow, I mean, that yellow really pops, really beautiful there. Yeah, fantastic, just great. And because I know that's a common complaint that I see people that purchase mats, and they say, well, actually it's darker than the original, and things like that, those sorts of criticisms. Let me just see it, in fact, side by side. Let's have a look. So this is the flip side of the board. Let's just flip it back over, and you can see side by side comparison. Then there you go. You can see there's not much in it. I mean, and in fact, I would argue actually that the mat is crisper. You know, you look at the board, certainly under these lights, the board versus the mat. That mat really pops. They've genuinely upped the contrast on the mat, and it's made such a difference. It really has. I mean, this seems quite muted. The hues are much more toned down, and so that's much more intense. So yeah, no, I'm really happy now that I got the mat as well. Really glad to have purchased that. That is beautiful. And I mean, just the intensity of those colours. I mean, even coming through on the camera, that's fantastic. I love that. That's brilliant. But you do start to get a sense of how much space this does take up. I mean, this is your central board, and then everyone's got their own player boards, you know, up to 4 around the place. So it can be quite a bit of a table hog, I think, to a degree. But yeah, there's a lot worse out there. There's a lot worse. And then this is, I'm guessing, maybe the vines. Don't know. Again, I don't think I've seen. It's quite a different layout, certainly to what it is online, so it is what it is. So apologies, folks. Like I say, I haven't played physically the original copies, so yeah, it's a bit of postulation on my part, so apologies. But I love this. I mean, this just works so well. Beautiful. I like the fact that you've got that 1 to 5, 10, 15, 20. It calls those out. They're nice and easy and quick to identify as you're counting up your score. Beautiful piece of work. Yeah, that's fantastic. Really, really happy with that. I'm just going to pop that to one side. Then we had one more component, which I will now try and dig out for everything else that I've buried it under. Here we go. No, it's not the rulebook. You can go back. And it's not the Shatoma. I love that. I like that. I like that, guys. Shatoma. Brilliant. Okay, so we have... Again, I don't think this is going to come up necessarily. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, struggling a little with the... That's fine. That's fine. There we go. Okay, so... let's see what we get. There we go. 180 acrylic tiles. 51 acrylic double hex tiles. 180 acrylic hex tiles. So did they... No, I'm not seeing that they redid the goods, but that's fine. This is what it is. Okay, so this box contains acrylic hex tiles and double hex tiles that can be used, that can be added to the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition as a replacement for the cardboard tiles. So it is all definitely tiles, not the goods that we saw. So they will be what they are. What I might do, I might Mod Podge them. I may even just get my air gun on them and just give them an extra layer of varnish just to harden them up that extra bit. Talk about the goods tiles. Just because I just wouldn't want them to get damaged, and I think, you know, the fact that they're already starting to get damaged and they've literally left the factory. That's it. Nothing else. I do find that there's a bit of disappointment, I guess. I know, maybe that's a bit strong, but it is what it is. Okay, so... Oh, it's so heavy. So heavy. Look at that. It's like flipping poker chips, but honestly, you've got to feel it to believe it, guys. Here we go. So, are they... Is it tapes? No, it's not tapes. Just nicely secure. Like it. And again, we've got the Castles of Burgundy embossing on the lid. Beautiful. Got a nice little bit of padding on there. And these are so nice. They are so nice. Yeah, that cat was going to come out on there. It's all green. Here we go. I mean, they are beautiful. There is no two ways about that. They are beautiful. I was just trying to see if I can get that shine on there. You can see the nice, shiny acrylic. They are beautiful. Let's just grab a. They sound so nice. Clinkety clink clink. Beautiful. But yeah, so imagine you just shovel those in a bag together. Oops, there we go. And these are presumably the ones that are referenced, about double-sided. And again, this is a key thing, you see, folks. This is, and again, I confess, I don't fully understand it. Why did they go to the trouble of creating the cardboard hex locations with the print on the back so you could see what they were, and then not repeat it on here? I don't understand that, folks. What was so difficult about that task? There was clearly must have been something in the manufacturing process. Clearly they could have done double-sided tiles. So that absolutely wasn't the issue. And I'm a little confounded and befuddled as to why they didn't then do the writing on the back of these. Now there are people out there that say, well, I'll just produce some stickers and I'll stick them on, and think, yeah, but then they'll get worn and they'll start curling up at the edges, and I don't really want that. Again, the more you play this thing, folks, the more you'll get used to what all these things are anyway, and be a mute point. You know, but yeah, just love them. Love them. What's not to love, folks? You know, you can see exactly what they are. They're beautiful. Little divot. Yes, you can continue to see what colour. Black. I don't know what colour it is. You've got grey for the mines. Now what they are. Red for the castles, which obviously would have replaced with those 3D prints, the 3D buildings. We've got the yellows, and this will vary from game to game, particularly on the yellows. But yeah, I mean, just done a great job on this artwork. So they give you a bit of an idea with the iconography as to what it is they do on some of these things. Obviously, greens you don't need to worry about because they're all animals. I'm a bit confused now as to why some of the greens are blackboard and some of the greens are greens. That's odd. Okay. And the boats. There we go. Now there was a more deluxeified edition. They did release it. It's an extra box of add-ons, about the same size again of the original box. And apologies, folks, I wasn't going to go for that. What they did there was, instead of just the castles as 3D miniatures, you had the option to have all of these as 3D miniatures as well. I don't know if they did the vines, but certainly all of these, the buildings, the boats. I mean, they looked fab, but was I really going to spend the time when playing the game to be... Because you're still going to have to use a bag with these to put out initially, I'm guessing, maybe not. Well, you're going to have to use a bag to pull them out, you know, so to put them out on the board. And then you're going to go, okay, well, I need a boat, so now I'm going to go and get a boat from over there. And then I'm going to pull a school, and I'm going to go and find the school building and pull that out and put... For me personally, it was a step too far, and I was happy not to have it. I was happy to pay the extra for the resin tiles. I think they absolutely make a difference. They really up the quality, and again, you know, for longevity of the game, the wear and tear perspective, beautiful, not a shadow of a doubt with those. Fantastic, really happy to have got those. Like I say, that neoprene matte stitched around the outside, and those colours just so pop, just so much better than even the original board. I mean, I'm just blown away with that. I mean, that is just stunning. Really happy with that. Really impressed. And yeah, overall, a fantastic production. I hope you've enjoyed this. Apologies again for my struggling with my tech. Kind of got there in the end. Thank you for sticking with me if you've stuck with me this far. Really appreciate you joining me. Hopefully you found that of some use, maybe giving you some idea as to whether this is something that might be of interest to yourself. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you've liked this, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of my content, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll get to continue to see my playthroughs, my unboxings, and my updates as I continue to progress. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.